It's in the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Are you ready? Get ready, dog. This be the green light, go. Tires burn the pavement. People want to know when Mace, Pops, and Dave went. Still here, still in your ear with a style so hot, you'll see where all the sun rays went. Legs, arms, and head, all being moved in a frenzy. The blends be all the right cred, meaning credentials. Best of both worlds when we rocking over pearls in the instrumental. Are you ready? Set, jump to the...
Thank you, Coach. We are in the Pacific Northwest as we get set for football at CenturyLink Field here in Seattle. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Minnesota Vikings and the Seattle Seahawks. 3/4 of the NFL season are complete. What works in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Defense wins championships, baby. Got it. Mike 55, Mike 55. Hey, eat.
To throw is Wilson. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Anthony Barr comes rumbling in for the sack.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon. Wilson
and the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here. Now it's Wilson. And that is incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. And this ball is going to be touched down just shy of midfield.
Let's go now. 8-3. You gonna see me in your nightmare, son. You gonna see me in your nightmare.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Open here, Adam Thielen. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
And the Vikings 1st down.
Ready. 10-2 stop. Check back. Now.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. Another good completion on the drive as the Vikings have a first down.
First down, Minnesota.
Hey, Delta.
57 Mike. 57 Mike. I got one.
Shoot.
They'll look to throw now on first down. Open man. Once again, it's Thielen. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. A gain of 6 there on first.
Well, I know from past experience, before you actually play a game, you visualize what's going to happen. And I don't know anyone who doesn't visualize themselves being in the center of what's going on. That's 3 catches for him here in the early going. He's got to like the way this is started.
Absolutely. 3 catches on any drive is good. Opening drive, that's a tone setter. Give them a loss of 6 yards, and it brings up third down. Now, that last completion certainly not what they were hoping for, as now they'll try to convert on third. They'll look to throw. And Thielen's got it. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen with touchdown number 8 on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to his second and sometimes third progression. That was a nice play.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
At their own 19-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
On second down now, it's Carson. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a third and about 4 for a first.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense, because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Now Wilson. And that will be incomplete.
He had a good game catching the ball in the backfield a week ago, and they're going to try and involve him in that way in this game as well. But you can tell scouting is taking over. They're making it a little bit more difficult.
Defensively, they told us, hey, we've got to take him out of the passing game, limit it to just short runs, because he can really impact this offense. This will be fielded at the 17. So dangerous with a football in his hands. Call that a return of 38. And the Vikings, they'll be set up well as they take over in great field position. 1st and 10.
Ready?
57, Mike 57. Time to go, night.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And that'll wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it, but it's second down. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. On play action, they'll throw. That one complete to D.D. Westbrook. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Back to throw now on first down. He's going to let this go for the end zone. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. D.D. Westbrook. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage.
Great field position has to be one of the best friends an offense can have. When you don't have very far to go, you should cash it in with points.
Extra point up and through. And it's now 14-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Let's go.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts.
Tyler Lockett, the 40, 20, 10, and all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. Tyler Lockett, 81 yards, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. They were already down 2 scores early. They needed something to try to stem that tide, and that certainly qualifies. A big play to get him in the end zone.
It qualifies indeed because, let's face it, they don't get something done on this drive, turn it back over, this game could be 88 and out the gate early.
What? 88 and out the gate?
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, listen, I used to hear my old man talk about it. Usually meant that thing's done.
Well, now that they got the touchdown, it's not 88 and out the gate. We still got a good game going ahead of us. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Now, right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Give them 18 there and give the Vikings a first down. How about the first quarter he's putting together out wide? Pretty impressive.
I think that he likes the fact that we're playing this as a day game. You know, some guys, they respond better in the evenings. For some reason, it builds up. For this guy,
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jadeveon Clowney make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets him back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. Through 1 quarter, 14-7 our score.
Here you go. 15-9. 15-9. Hey, Alpha. Check right 57. Okay. Rap. 57. Mike, 57.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 43.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. A perfectly executed crossing route. Here's a quick hitch route and the throw complete. A gain of 6 there on first. Okay, so now the question, how did he get that wide open?
Well, we both know that he shouldn't, because from the time they handed out scouting reports before this game, he was circled, starred, everything. Find him, cover him. But sometimes you can scheme a guy open. You put the receivers in a bunch, maybe you move some motion, maybe you put them on the backside of a formation, and all of a sudden you've got a better matchup. Every now and then, the offensive guys, they figure a way to get him open, even with everyone keeping eyes on him.
And that's certainly a guy they want to keep trying to scheme open.
First down, Vikings.
Go now. 60 on. 5. 57. Ready?
Now back to throw. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
2nd and 6. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
And when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Bobby Wagner in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to 4th down. And this is not going to be anywhere close. No good, way wide to the left. And this score will stay right where it is. So an empty possession there. What do you think went wrong, Charles?
Well, it looked like maybe the plant leg might have given way just a little. And when that happens, guys have a tendency to pull through the ball to compensate. And in doing so, sent this one off target.
Check.
Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down. That's complete to DK Metcalf. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 1st down, Seattle on a pickup of 13.
1st and 10, 47-yard line.
They'll run on 1st down. Carson, and he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. The tackle goes there to Linval Joseph.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On 2nd down, it's Carson, and this time he's able to take it down to the 42. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
Let's get off the front. Mark 54. Mark 54.
On 1st down, Wilson. And he's going to go down. Back near midfield at the 49. Daniil Hunter, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the 2nd quarter. 14-7. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
We get slap happy up here sometimes. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
25. Alert.
Throwing is Wilson. A bullet throw, but incomplete. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. That's caught by the tight end, Irv Smith Jr. He got 29 yards that time. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
Brings up 2nd and 4.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. 2nd and 4. And this is caught at the 8. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target.
Watch the run. Watch the run. Watch the run.
They'll look to throw again. And he completes it to Westbrook. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. He'll get only 2 there, and it's 2nd and goal.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender.
He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Irv Smith Jr. in the final seconds of the first half. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. That'll be taken in the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'd love to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
And the first play of the drive there is incomplete. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. 2nd and 3. It's caught. Smith. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 44-yard line. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Hey, Charlie. 54 Mike. 54 Mike. Ready?
Looking to throw. He'll let this go for the end zone. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Tight end Irv Smith, the intended receiver. And it's 2nd down. Something we haven't really seen much of from him, an incomplete pass.
Yeah, last week he finished at 70%. This week he's up over 80%. I don't know how you slow him down. Pass rush is usually the best way because a quarterback on his back usually can't complete a pass.
Give him 9 yards on the 2nd down screen play.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid gain.
Came up a little short on the last pass play. They did get 9 yards out of it, leaving him with his 3rd and 1. And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. Give him a yard on the play, and he's definitely short. It'll be 4th down and a few inches. And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot. And this score will stay right where it is.
NFL kickers nowadays, they make things look so easy because normally from this range, about 2 out of 3. And this is not an easy kick.
Yeah, 20 years ago, you get where he was in that 50 range, maybe a little over. And it's a big kick, but now we just, if they leave it short, you're like, whoa, what happened? And that's what we have here.
Yeah, you're right. 20 years ago, we were saying run some more plays and get closer. Now we think they're definitely within range, and you're exactly right. When it comes up short, there has to be something that went wrong because they have plenty of leg.
Brings up 2nd and 3 at their
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
I got you. He's crashing. He's checking crash. Hey, hey. 14. Hayward.
To throw is Wilson. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. That's caught inside the 20. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. And in 2 plays just like that, they're already operating in the red zone.
And that's good for a Seahawks.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now a give right side. Carson, and this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line.
He's brought down back at the 16-yard line.
54 is Mike. Check. Watch 54. Watch. Hey, watch the slant. Mike, check. Mike 54. Bring it.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Wilson. And he's got it. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Chris Carson hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season as his guys are back within a single score. No problem there on the extra point. And they're back within a touchdown at 21-14. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
At their own 26-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. They're going to look to throw. That'll be complete to Cook. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. So with the yardage on that completion, he's now right at exactly 300 yards on the game.
And isn't that the magic number you get? 300, that means it's going to go on a commemorative.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line. Well, CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Here's Wilson. He's going to let this one go deep. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
55. Right there in the middle. 55. I got one.
On 3rd down, Wilson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Emerson Griffin on the sack, taken to the 4th round back in 2010. What a steal. Now here's Michael Dixon as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Now here's Michael Dixon as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And this will be taken at the 13. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the 1st down. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. Big yardage after the catch. That one winds up going for 36.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
Oh, no, he lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. Through an opening, and there he goes. And he'll take it across midfield to the 46-yard line.
Well, that takeaway, partner, right there, that's a combination of coaching, execution, and absolute belief, because a lot of guys will look at the scoreboard and go, this thing's pretty well done, but they still thought to themselves, if we can make a play, we give our teammates a chance to win it, and that's exactly what they did.
12. Good job right there. 54.
Following the fumble recovery, it's Wilson. That's complete into the hands of Carson. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
So second in inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. Wilson. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And it's knocked away and incomplete. The intended receiver was DK Metcalf. And now it's third down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man. And you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Draw play. This is Carson. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
First down. First and 10 at the 33-yard line.
So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33.
Man, I got you. Hey, 0. Mike's 54. Mike's 54.
Now Wilson. And nearly picked off there, and it would have been a great time for their first pick. Instead, it's second down.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
Again on second and 10, it's Wilson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Wilson and the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's third and long here. Wilson. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away.
The Vikings take over first and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Right now clinging to a one-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first down, and the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
They run again on first down. Cook. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. 12 yards there. First down, Vikings. Although his reputation as a speedy runner precedes him, it's always fun to watch him work.
It is eye-opening, isn't it? Because when you see him get the ball and just go, in addition to that speed, it helps out his blockers. They don't have to hold blocks for long because he's just going to speed right past them.
It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction. And when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
A run there on first down and a pretty good one at 5 yards, so make it 2nd and 5. Tackle coming from the safety, Trey Flowers.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. They run it again with Cook. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10.
I'm going back to you.
Defense still with 3 timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them here as the kneel down comes.
A loss of a yard brings up 2nd and 11 at the 14-yard line.
Ready, 10 Lobo.
Coming to you, coming to you.
So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory, and it was a bit of a strange game. They were held scoreless through the entire second half, but their first half output, that's enough to carry them to victory.
And that's an odd game to watch, isn't it? Because when we saw the output in the first half, you think to yourself, okay, they've got something working here. They know what they're doing. They'll continue that along. But instead, it's goose eggs in the second half. Fortunately, enough of a cushion and enough defense to carry them home.
So for Minnesota, it's a very important win as they move to 9-4 now on the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, it's a potentially fatal blow to their playoff chances as they drop to 6-7 on the year. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Santa Clara to take on the 49ers. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.